Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with the last match reaction of the season to Newcastle United 4, Brentford 2. We've done what was required. We won the game and we have 7th position in the Premier League. So it's Europe again, unless catastrophe strikes in the FA Cup final. It's still not ideal. We're waiting for somebody else to do us a favour, but just so happens that somebody else is probably the best team on the planet, with maybe Real Madrid the exception. But it's great we've finished 7th. Back-to-back European finishes for Newcastle United. That is a good thing. Me and Mark will get into that more on Monday night's show. But for now, let's get stuck into the match reaction of today. Just before we do, a little reminder, as we always say, if you haven't already, click subscribe. We're over 7,600 subs now, so we're creeping up to 8,000. Loads of room for you, never more. Thanks to everybody who smashed that button this year so far. We really appreciate it. But if you haven't, you just happen to stumble across us, hello, click the button, hang around a bit longer. There's loads of great crack on this channel and a great community to be part of as well. It's all free content. If you want to be a member, though, there is an option down there. You can support the channel by clicking that as well. So let's get stuck in. As we say, the pressure was on. We are live tonight as well, guys, as always. And loads of you are in the comments already. I'm going to get to them in a minute. But let's have a little look at how we lined up. So this is how the lads lined up today. There were some big calls needed to be made. And thank God Eddie Howe made them. A bit disappointing, I suppose, that Anthony Gordon wasn't available for selection after he had his ankle raked down. That's right, PGMOL, even though you ruled it not to be a foul. Why is he injured then? Why is he injured? But Nick Pope came back in as what we were all screaming for. Later on in the game, Pope made a save that made perfect sense as to why he should have been starting probably for the last 3 weeks over the trace and paper man that is Martin Dubravka. I hope to Christ we don't see Martin Dubravka in a Newcastle shirt ever again. Time to go, son. Thank God Nick Pope was back. Trippier started on the bench with Kraft at right back as we thought. Shaw came back in centre-half alongside Burn. Lewis Hall yet again today, brilliant at left back. We'll get stuck in him in a minute. Midfield 3, Sean Longstaff just obviously can't be budged by Eddie Howe regardless of how he plays. So Joe Linton came back into the midfield, had a great game today. Joe Linton looked a lot better alongside Bruno Guimaraes. In the front 3 of Jacob Murphy, Harvey Barnes started, and Alexander Isak. So the game started, and to be honest, we started a bit slow, I felt. Brentford got in behind a couple of times. There was a little sider from Ivan Toney with a great overhead kick that, just distant time it right, and it kind of sailed over the bar. And then Lewis Hall went on a little bit of a walkabout, and Wembo got in behind him, crossed the ball to Ivan Toney. It's probably his last game for Brentford, in all fairness. And he finished with aplomb. Thankfully, he was offside. And there was a little bit of a warning shot, but it was kind of, to be fair, I think that was the jolt that we needed to get our shit together. And shortly after that, Bruno started to get his foot on the ball, make things happen. Joe Linton was getting stuck in as well. The rustiness from Joe Linton looked like it was kind of, heading away. Today, he looked a lot better on the ball. He had more time. He was aggressive. He was getting stuck in. The ref was a little bit whistle happy, I felt at times. Maybe not when he shouldn't have been, for some rotten tackles by Brentford, which we'll get into in a minute. But we started to make things happen. A couple of good chances. Isak got in behind. He slips a beautiful pass to I think it's a 6-yard box for Joe Linton, who's coming in. I don't know how he misses. I really, really don't. Hits his heel and goes wide. You think, what the hell is going on here? And then shortly after that, thank God, Bruno Guimaraes gets the ball out wide, puts in a beautiful cross. And Harvey Barnes, say what about Harvey Barnes, gammy toe, in and out, stop-start season. But this kid can make runs in the attacking box. And he makes great runs, and he's a good finisher. He gets into the box, brilliant header, centre forwards header, and we're 1-0 up. And after that moment, we just kind of really bossed the game. We really got stuck in. They couldn't really do anything to stop us, really, in all fairness. And it was just attack after attack after attack. Brentford had so long before they had a chance after that. And then Alexander Isak, who was definitely bang up for it today, gets the ball, dances around. I think the ball kind of swings a little bit over to the left. It's a bit of a heavy pass. The defender kind of puts him off a little bit, but he comes back and he just does this beautiful little turn, and the pass across the edge of the box is absolutely fucking superb. What we need is a winger who can pass like that, and then Isak can be in the middle, and he'll get another 10 goals this season. But thankfully, Jacob Murphy really couldn't miss. It was that good of a pass. Cut the keeper out completely. Jacob Murphy pops it away for 2-0. Credit to Jacob Murphy, goes straight over to celebrate Alexander Isak. He was key. Him and Bruno were key for us to get in front there. And then you blinked after that. And then we get the ball back. Lovely little bit of one pass touch. Bruno with a beautiful weighted pass through to Isak, who does this little pirouette thing with his legs and just bottom corner, 3-0 up. We're flying. We're absolutely flying. Doesn't matter what Chelsea are doing. Doesn't matter what Manchester United are doing. We had to win. We were 3-0 up at half-time, and it was absolutely brilliant to be in such a controlling position in the game. Let's get to some of your comments there, guys. Yeah, to coin Europe, ole, ole, ole. Absolutely. Kenka saying, get in. David saying, I hope City smash Manchester United. We'd like to think they would, David, because they're shit. They shouldn't even be in 8th position, really. And it would be sweet if we had Europe and they had fuck all. By the way, massive shout out to the Travel Mags today who are singing Who the Fuck Am Man United? And the Mags go marching on. Chef's kiss. Love it. Marcus is saying, even though he conceded 2 goals, Pope had a solid game. He was excellent today. Just made everybody seem more confident. You know, that's what he does. He should have been there 3 weeks ago. And nice to see Pope back in goal, says Scott. Although he looks a bit rusty, definitely made a difference. Having Joe in midfield again, he bossed it absolutely. We'll get into a bit more what Pope did in the second half. Graham is saying the latest sweat fest over now next weekend. Absolutely, mate. I know we just can't relax as Newcastle fans, can we? Andrew Phil Phelps, and I love the fact we beat Schuster Reds to place by 24 goals. 4th best goal difference in the PL. Absolutely. Man United are shit, honestly. I hope they get spanked in the FA Cup final and get no Europe whatsoever. Brexit FC will call those motherfuckers going forward. George is saying, Dubravka, Almiron, Dummett, Richie, get in the fucking bin. Yeah, absolutely. You're right, Marcus Hall was solid. He was excellent, especially in the second half, but his forward runs, brilliant. Graham is saying, small winners of quality. Big Joe makes a huge difference. Hall showing plenty of promise. Excellent 3 points. Completely agree. And Alexander saying, Joe Linton, what have I been missing? My man of the match. I'll get into mine in a minute, Alexander. So the second half kicks off. We started really bad in all fairness. As Janlet comes running into the box out of nowhere and just puts in the back of the net, and Brentford are back in the game. And you think, what the fucking hell's going on? Yeah, they're back in the game. We still had loads of the ball, and you still thought, you know, we're the better side here. Cross comes in for Tony in the second half. This is where Nick Pope earns the stripes. Even though he's rusty, it's a brilliant ball in and a great header by Evan Tony. And Pope just gets there. He puts that massive hand out and he makes that save. Martin Dubravka doesn't make that save. That's I think 3-2 at the time, possibly. That's before Wisa scores his goal. That's 3-2. And if Wisa gets his goal, we're drawing this game. And this is a different podcast altogether. But that's the difference about having a player like Nick Pope in between the sticks instead of Martin Dubravka. But Wisa scores an absolute fucking blinder, to be fair. Shortly after that, he tucks inside, a little bit of a hop, skip, and a jump, and he bends it in the far corner. I don't think Pope thinks he's even going to shoot, and he goes screaming in the back of the net. We said them front three are dangerous, and Wemba was good today. Tony had his moments. We kept them relatively quiet. Wisa scores this absolute cracker of a goal. So 3-2, it's squeaky bum time, really. And then out of nowhere, Lewis Hall goes on this mazy run, this modern-day fullback, this Andy Robertson-style fullback that we've got now. What a game this kid had defensively and then offensively. He was up and down like a fucking horse draws, putting brilliant crosses in on that left peg, dinking inside and out, getting free kicks all over the gaff. Absolutely brilliant. He gets fouled, and for me, he gets fouled in the box. His ankle gets clipped as he's in the box. It's a penalty. The ref points to the spot, and you're thinking, penalty. VAR, get that in the bin, goes and checks it, pulls it back for a free kick. I'm screaming at the TV like most of you are saying, what the fuck is that about? That's a penalty. Isak drills the ball, and then Bruno is the quickest player alive, puts in the back of net for 4-2, and that is just a serve right there. And we battered them, absolutely battered them. I mean, some horrible tackles went in as well from Brentford. They gave up. They knew they were getting beat by a better side. Shocking tackle by Ivan Toney on Bruno Guimaraes. I don't even know if that was the end of the first half or the second half. He was very lucky to get away with that. And then they brought on the proverbial shithouse that is Neil Maupay. And basically, if you don't know who Neil Maupay is, think about Craig Bellamy, but without any pace and talent. And then you get Neil Maupay. He's trying to paint himself as this shithouse of a player, but he is just quite shit, to be honest with you. He's not that good of a footballer at all. He's a bit of a nuisance and a bit of a knob. but he puts a tackle in on Nick Pope, which is completely unnecessary, to the point Trippier was at him, Pope was at him. The referee should have just give the little twat in your red card and got rid, because there's no room for that in that game. But we're getting comfortably beaten. There was no need for it. It's his last game before they send him back to Everton. He's not really done a great deal. Mark's in the comments saying, add Mopé to my list. Yes, Mark's list has ever grown. You think mine's bad? It is. Mine is very long, and that's my list, by the way. I don't need dodgy comments in the from the old bots in there. But Mark's list is growing of players that he hates. But Neil Mopé, why are you doing that kind of a thing there? There's no need for it whatsoever. Had Nick Pope got hurt there, that would have been horrendous by Neil Mopé. But what disappoints me the most is I miss the days when, as a player, I played in midfield, and when that kind of thing happens, straight away you go, you're getting fucked in 2 minutes, mate. And you go bang, and you smash into Neil Mopé, and you flip him about 2 foot in the air. And then when the little knob lands on the floor, you stamp on his hand or something like that when the ref's not watching. I miss players who can do that. We need a player who can do that. And I would love to have been on that pitch after that moment. I would have went right through the back of Neil Mopé. I really, really would. But listen, we didn't need it. We won the game. We finished 7th. Manchester United, doesn't matter what they've done. The goal difference is 2 behind. I don't even know what the scores are. I know that Chelsea were winning. Let me just quick check the table and the scores. Chelsea were winning. I think Manchester United were winning 1-0. Yeah, so we're both on 60 points as in Manchester United, except our goal difference is plus 23 and theirs is -1. That's how shit they've been this season, and they're still in that position. It's incredible. It really, really is. But the big players showed up today. Alexander Isak showed up. Bruno Guimaraes showed up. Joe Linton showed up. I thought Barnes had good movement. Lewis Hall was excellent today. Burnham Share defended really well. Pope was solid when he had to be. For me, man of the match is Bruno Guimaraes. For me, absolutely hands down. Just looking at some of his stats there, 52 of his 61 passes accurate, 85% passing ratio. He got, in terms of his tackles, so he won 7 of his 12 ground duels. He made 1 tackle, 1 interception as well, but he was just everywhere. He got 2 assists and a goal. For me, he's man of the match, hands down. Let us know in the comments, guys, who your man of the match is. But Bruno, they're the kind of games, I think, you see Craig Hope says Bruno has to don a superhero cape, and he did that today, and he was absolutely brilliant. But, a big shout out to Lewis Hall yet again. I mean, Lewis Hall, 4 tackles there from Lewis Hall, 85% passing accuracy. 2 of his long balls on target from his 3. He won 9 of his 13 ground duels, which is absolutely class for the lad. And he's obviously there. I see 4 tackles and 1 interceptions. And you can kind of credit him in a way a little bit for the free kick that should have been a penalty. But it's great to see Lewis Hall growing in stature every single game. And I honestly think the kid will be our starting left back come next season. But yeah, good performance in the end when we needed it from the lads. I just wish we'd had it against Brighton and Man United. We could have even been in 6th place. But listen, let's look a gift horse in the mouth. It's now the top 8. It says to go in. Absolutely, mate. And Darren saying Lewis Hall could be a superstar there, mate. I do agree, Darren. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I think 28 million now is looking like a snip, mate. I said that at the time when we signed him. I said I thought this kid was going to be the real deal. Eddie's obviously had him building up his defensive capabilities in the background, because I think there was confusion that he was going to be a midfielder or a left forward. 100% he was going to be a modern-day left wing back. I think that's what Eddie Howe's drilled into him, and he looks absolutely brilliant now. He really does. To be honest with you, if he played earlier than this, I think he'd be in for an outside shout for the England squad. I really, really do, because they've got such a lack of left-footed left backs. I think he would have walked in that squad for the play. Dean said, Ian and Chris, even an all great result. J7 and Pope had plenty to do. 100%, 100%. Vincent says Bruno was his man of the match. Absolutely. And he also says that all Mopé has is being shit, pathetic excuse for striker. Yeah, he's not good at all, mate. He really isn't. Pocket Jody saying after the ups and downs of the season, I think 7th is a pretty decent position to end up. I do agree with that. Fingers crossed, Man City do us a favour. We'd like to hope so. Regattori saying Hall nailed on first choice left back next season for him after a slow start of his career. Money well spent. And we have a super chat there from the Devious Orange, which is 35 Zar. Thank you so much. I'm not sure what that is. Mark might tell me in the comments if he's cruising around looking at the old conversion rate, but we do appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much. Rodri, 8 goals, 9 assists. Rice, 7 goals, 8 assists. Bruno, 7 goals, 8 assists. And got no love in the talk about sixes. Exactly. I mean, Bruno's right up there, mate. 100% he's right up there. Alongside those players, he belongs there. I just worry a little bit that people might try to get him to Manchester City, because he does sit in that Great company there, Devious Orange. So thanks for your super chat. And you too, Graham. Thank you so much. Got a bit of a squeaky bum at 3-2. Bruno was outstanding today. He really was. He was absolutely class. These are the games where we need him just to take control, and he did that. He was brilliant. Jordy Boy said Lewis Hall's like a young John Beresford steaming forward. He's got a better left peg than Bez, to be fair. Don't know how good his crack is, though. I've seen Bez at a few tokens, and he is an absolute boy, as Bez, to be fair. I think he's a great guy. FBI Andy 90 Hall and Tino are going to be great fullbacks for a very long time. For England as well, I think, Andy, not just for Newcastle United. I think if you look at this tournament, I said this to Mark before, we'll maybe do a bit on the Euros. We'll have to have this conversation. Yeah, we probably should have done, really, but we will do. But I think after this tournament, there's a lot of those fullbacks that are going to age out of the England picture. Trippier, Walker, Shaw, maybe even Chilwell, in terms of his injury problems. Reece James can't stay fit. You've got Trent, who's got defensive frailties. But listen, I think that Tino and Hall are definitely future England fullbacks, no doubt about it. They keep playing the way they are for Newcastle, they'll get into squads. Duncan saying, really looking forward to the transfer window. Me too, mate. Absolutely. We need to be busy. We need to plug key areas. So let's hope we do it. Mark Toon saying, won't catch me wearing a City shirt. Like Spurs fans are not normal. They're weird. And I'm well with Ange, Mark. I really am. I'd have been embarrassed if that was my team or fan base doing that. And, Ange could get pissed off and walk. He's that kind of a guy. And Mark is saying, are we? Okay, well, we like to keep things fresh, Mark. We like to keep each other guessing, mate. So thank you so much for jumping in the comments there. Oh, good, yeah. Comment there from Dave. And just during the stream, how good was that, Chris? And again, how shit was the ref? Totally shit, mate. As always, Dave. But good to see you. Good to see you in the comments, mate. But yeah, I just think that, like I said, the lads had to get it done today. Brentford really didn't have much to play for. I think if that goal had stood to start with, I think, they might have got a little bit of momentum on the step, and they might have tried to take control of the game with that front three, especially if Tony had, got that goal. He might want another one, and, he's trying to get a hat-trick on his exit from Brentford. But I just think that we weathered that quite well. And I think, Murphy was good today. Looking at Murphy's stats, Murphy's got a goal there. Again, passing accuracy, this probably sums up Murphy. He looked like he had a decent game, but 60% passing accuracy. Only one of his 2 crosses were on target. He only won one of his ground duels. Dribbles attempted 0, according to SofaScore. I'm sure he did more than that, to be fair. 1 tackle as well. But he was busy when he had to be, Murphy. He pressed, when he won the ball back. So he had a decent game, in my opinion. Again, I think probably underperforming again without digging him out, was probably Sean. He just kind of coasted by in the game. He didn't really do a great deal. I know he had that goal disallowed where that was marginally offside for me, marginally offside. But other than that, Sean didn't really do much. I don't know whether he's burnt out. This ankle injury that he's got that Eddie House doesn't know about is still there. But yeah, it'd been an interesting summer, I think, for Sean Longstaff. But he does seem to be an Eddie Howe favourite, so maybe Eddie will keep him around. He's already been talking quite positively about keeping Callum Wilson, beyond the summer. So let's wait and see what happens there. Sean is saying, is that Miggy and Wilson's last game for us in the Premier League? Maybe Miggy. I'm not sure about Wilson, though. Again, the kind of stuff that Eddie Howe is saying. Some of it does worry me a little bit. It really, really does. Because you can't be too sentimental with these players. You just got to move on. You really, really do. Ragatoni there said, yeah, we lost 14 this season. Had we drawn 8 of them, we'd been 4th. If the away form had been sorted, Ragatoni, we would have been 4th. And if the injuries hadn't been there, we probably would have been 4th as well. Villa have had a mint season, no doubt, and not taking any credit away from them. I think massive congratulations to the Villa fan base who have been, craving that kind of performance like we did last season. I hope they have a great adventure in the Champions League. I hope they don't get a group of death like we did. But I hope they have a really good nights, European nights at Villa Park. But it'll kill Sky and TNT Sports in particular having to commentate on Villa in the Champions League, rather than Manchester United or Spurs. And I love it. I'm there for that. I love watching the greedy sick sweat that these media bastards have when teams get there who shouldn't be there because they're not sexy enough to be there. So go on the Villa and fuck the mainstream media, I say. Raging Phoenix saying, come on, City, take us to Europe. I mean, if you're going to rely on one team, mate, City are a good team to rely on. Robert's saying, it would just be our luck that a shit Man U team to keep us out of Europe. Oh, mate, it has flashed my mind. It really, really has, because they're so fucking jammy. They would just be like those wankers to do that. But I just hope that City are way too powerful and they just absolutely smashed them to pieces. With it being a derby as well, there will be added incentives. So I just hope the City turn up and roast them, like a fucking hog at a barbecue. P. Jameson, hopefully Miggy's shown, great guy, blah, blah, but simply not good enough. Yeah, it's hard to disagree with that. P. James, it really, really is. Jordy Boyson, I thought it was strange the club bought on that Miggy and Nobby interview if they have plans to get rid. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing there. I mean, it might just be a South American link, possibly. I don't know, mate. But it was quite a good video, to be fair. I love Nobby to bits. But Dan Burns' big quiz to me was the one. That was absolutely class. Absolutely brilliant. Grahamson, only 3 months to wait. We can go again. Absolutely. Jolly Boy saying, are Palace the next big challengers? Or are they on a roll, playing without pressure once they were safe? Possibly, mate. Possibly. I think the problem is with Palace is they're probably going to lose a lot of their big players, I think, in the summer, because people will be sniffing around them like sharks, smelling blood in the water. Roger says they didn't manage to see the game, stream or not. Oh, lucky Roger. But Shane Bournemouth didn't get their second. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that would have changed things, because we still would have been on 60 points anyway. Roger, I think that Chelsea probably would have been on 61, I think. So I don't think it would have changed a great deal. But yeah, Bournemouth worked hard, to be fair. But again, they blow hot and cold, don't they? Anthony O'Donnell saying, if we only didn't let ourselves down the previous 2 games, shame we have to rely on Man 150 City, so 115 City to beat Man U. Highlight of the game, Bruno scoring, then putting on. So that was mint, by the way. Bruno's got his hat on. Hip, 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 hooray. Well, I'm sure we'll have a picture of that on What's Going on Monday. So tune in just to see that again. But that was absolutely class from Bruno as well. I love his celebrations. He's just absolutely brilliant. Ragatoni saying shot window for Miggy. Yeah, he's got to show people that he's worth a double. Kevin saying, yeah, I hope City win big time. For a long, long while, I've been nervous about the cup final. No, I'm trying not to be nervous about the cup final. I just hope Man City just do what they do best and win. Robert saying, happy enough for 7th. Can't wait for Man City to batter Man U. Shite United in the cup. Where are the lads? Absolutely, Robert. Well said, mate. Well said. Jordy Boy is just saying, yeah, true, mate. We are the Sharks now, sniffing. Absolutely. Give us Elise. We'll have a bit of him, mate, on the right-hand side. Absolutely, 100%. Because he is a hell of a player. And he would do a great job as well for us on the right-hand side. Kev is saying no, because with Freeman at the tune, we may end up with half of Palace's team. Yeah, well, Elise links are going to be strong. I think Freeman looks to be the favourite, doesn't he, from what I'm hearing and reading and seeing. And that's a good shout, because I think he's got a good eye for sniffing out players like Elise and Eze, that, if you put them with this manager too, because he helps get the best out of players, and I think he could do something really special. We're already after a couple of, hot shot young players. We've already got Alfie Harrison from City that, was really highly rated. But again, the path to the first team was more blocked there than it is here. There's the young boy from Arsenal, I think we're looking at as well, who's supposed to be the next Saka, but again, his route is blocked to the first team. So if we can take, the best of what they've got, and get them into the Newcastle Academy and under 23s, then, we could get a couple of real cracking players there just for next to nothing, really, or nothing. And that would be really, really thrifty by the club to do something like that, 100%. Brainwash Maniac is saying we need a new keeper. That is better than Dubravka and Pope this summer. Dobbs lost everything after losing number 1 spot with Sloan. Now, you need a proper keeper that can do it. Well, I mean, the Ramsdale links are there, whether you like him or you don't. He's a good keeper. He's a 2026. He's a good shot stopper. He's good with his feet. Very good with his feet, actually. A bit of a sweeper keeper. So let us know in the comments, guys, before we shoot off. We'll do another 5 minutes or so. If you like Ramsdale or not, would you take Ramsdale? Or is he not? He's not any better than what we've got. Trevor Miller saying, worried about the spawn of Man United, not to mention the assistance they get from the officials. That is very, very apparent. I'd tell you what, if that had been a foul against Bruno Fernandes on Gordon, that'd have been a penalty hands down, wouldn't it, on Wednesday? So we all know that. But we did what we wanted. 7th is respectable. Chelsea spent $1 billion. They couldn't stay shit forever. And they've got a good manager. Pochettino is a very good manager. People seem to forget that. And very good with young players that Chelsea are full of, because he has that ethos and that ability to get the best out of young players. Look at the way Dele Alli responded to him when he was a young player at Tottenham. And Poch is a good manager, and I think he'll turn them around. I mean, in the summer, maybe a couple of shrewd signings and maybe get rid of some of the dead wood and bring in some good players. If they get a proper number 9 there, I think they could be really dangerous next season, Chelsea. They're really, really good. Kev is saying, will Tosin Abirero favour Newcastle now? I think he did anyway, mate, to be honest with you. I don't think that he fancied Man United for a second. Which would be mint. So if we beat them to Europe and beat them to that first transfer target, again, chef's kiss all the way. Loving it. Robert is saying, for me, we deserve a little more than 7th place, and Chelsea were lucky in the last few games. No, that's a fair play. That's a fair play. Kev's saying raging Sky is crap. Well, Sky will be raging, because they probably didn't want us to finish in the Europa Conference. They don't want Villa to be in the Champions League. That's just the way they are. But fuck them. The league is changing. These teams can't have it all their own way forever. The FFP rules are going to hit them eventually, and then they're going to struggle. But once again, Chelsea were able to go and sign a £65 million Brazilian, where we're having to sell our best players to buy. Work that one out. Who knows how these people get around it? Absolutely shite. P. James is saying, Pope's top class. Agree about Dubs. So, I don't disagree with that. I think Pope is a very, very good goalkeeper. There's no doubt about that. He has some deficiencies like every player does, but generally, I think he is a good keeper, and we can have him for a lot longer than, next 2, 3, 4 seasons possibly. But if Ramsdale's available for 15 million for me, I say we'll go for him, because that is a good buy. That is a good buy. Jody Boy said, hit the like button, keep the channel growing. Yes, please, guys, if you can. That'll be absolutely brilliant. Brainwash agrees with him. And Anthony's saying, the best tuned channel by a country mile. Oh, thank you so much, mate. We really appreciate that. We've had a cracking year as evermore, to be fair. We've grown a lot this year. We really appreciate that. Rabbit Non saying, for 15 million, I would take him as backup to Pope. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Let the two of them fight it out, for that number one spot. Absolutely. Steve C is saying 7 to 8 to go. We don't have a big enough squad as it is. Get real, folks. We're not selling Miggy, Longstaff, or Wilson, in my opinion. That's fine, Steve. That's your opinion, bud. You're entitled to it, mate. We welcome opinions here, and you might be right. You might be right. If we can't get better, then maybe we won't sell them. But I just hope Eddie doesn't use a sentimental point of view over improving the squad if he has the chance, because we got caught short with that this summer, in my opinion. We could have had better quality players on the right-hand side than Miggy Almiron in key games, and we didn't, and it cost us, I think, the Champions League. Richard is saying Minter's the real deal. Don't panic about the right wing. I do like that kid. I think he'll hang around, mate. I really do. We've got to remember as well, look at what Louis Miley showed in the cameo. That lad's had all that experience. He's got to have another pre-season to get himself right. Again, his body's changing all the time as a 17-year-old lad. I always use the analogy of Cristiano Ronaldo going away as a skinny little whippet. One pre-season come back as a middleweight boxer. Louis Miley could come back in pre-season and be absolutely unbelievable. So that's another crack player we've got in the books with him and Minter, both young players as well. So it's really, really exciting times, guys, for those young players coming through. Roger saying Ramsdale in the squad, but could that upset the vibe? I don't know, mate. I mean, Ramsdale's a character. Bruno's a character. Wilson's a character. So, yeah, I mean, that Ramsdale might be all right. If Eddie signs him, he's obviously passed the no dickhead rule, isn't he, to be fair, because I don't think he would sign a player who's going to upset the apple cart. Sai saying I'd rather we sign the young keeper from Valencia. He's got age on his side. But again, Sai, Ramsdale's only 26. He's got Premier League experience. Is it Mamalashvili or whatever he is from Valencia? No Premier League experience, mate. He could come in and be gash. You don't know. That's the danger of players outside of the Premier League. If you've got Premier League experience for under 20 million, 26 years old in England at national, it's a total no-brainer for me. You've got to sign them up. You really, really do. Again, Stan is saying, cheers, evermore. Come on, City, for the final tune review or doing a watch-along for the final. Brilliant. I might tune in and watch that with Billy and Paul. Just cheering on Manchester City. That's absolutely class. I do love a bit of that. Trevor's saying, as much as Cole Palmer looks like a meth head, he really does in Stevie Granny's place. He has been class. He really has. Without him, I don't think Chelsea would have been anywhere near where they should have been, really. But yeah, he is a very, very good player, absolutely. But I would love to catch him late in the tackle because he looks like a twat, to be fair. Was that Ian Brownlee saying, can't kick, can't punch? Is that Ramsdale, possibly? I hope it's not somebody in a fight in the car park because they're screwed me. So I imagine you just mean it's Ramsdale. But yeah, I mean, again, like I say, for 15 million, I think it's a bargain, really. But he is a decent keeper. I just think he's had a bit of bad press, possibly around this whole number one debate over him and Raya. Raya makes mistakes as well, 100%. Graham saying, at least the lads will have a smile on their faces and then going a long flight down under the knee. Yeah, we're doing nothing about that game for Australia. I think it's a fucking pointless exercise, to be honest with you. It's a money-making thing. We'll talk about it maybe on the What's Going On or something like that, but we're not going to talk about the game or do a post-match. I'm not getting up at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning to do a post-match. Bollocks to that. I'll be up for work probably about 6 anyway, but I'm not doing a post-match analysis on that fucking game. Monty Bruce is saying, thank fuck the season is over. So frustrating, however. We can't forget the fat man era. No, we can't, and nor should we, mate. But we can still criticise when we think things aren't going right. Portland Mag is saying, was it a penalty day, lads? Seemed like contact continued in the box. It was for me, Portland, 100%. I thought it was a pen. just easy for them to bottle it, really, I think, and just give a free kick, because that's what these guys do best. They just bottle things, don't they? Which is absolutely crap. Derek is saying Klopp on TV now, wanker. I bet they're making a massive deal about him on Sky, the Derek. And they got like the red arrows, writing "Miss you, Jurgen" in the sky or something like that, and in red and white smoke. It's been nauseating, isn't it? Really, absolutely nauseating. Klopp was a brilliant guy when he come in. Charismatic, vibrant, big character, played great football, pressing, all that stuff. Eddie Howe's probably learned a bit from him, in all fairness, but he become this entitled moaning wank towards the end, to the point where I just couldn't bear him anymore. He was such a prick, and as much as a character, he'll be missed, no doubt about that. He becomes such a knob towards the end that I just can't be done with him. I wonder whose arse they're going to hang out next to the mainstream media, because Pep's still here, so they'll hang out his arse. And who else will it be? Who knows? Maybe they'll go Eddie Howe. People start kissing Eddie Howe's arse or Emery's arse. Who knows? Ian saying, "Evening, Chris. Great result. Ref had a stinker. We need a busy transfer." Absolutely. And I hope you're well, Ian, Bonnie lad. Good to see you in the comments, mate. Really appreciate that. Trevor's saying, "Do a watch along for the cup final, Chris." No, I will leave that to the Toon Review guys, mate. They are very good at that. Very good at that. I think me and Mark might get distracted with one of Mark's many animals running across the screen, pulling the wires out, and probably one of my kids asking me a question when I'm in the middle of a stream. So yeah, I don't think we'll do that, mate. I'll leave that to the professionals, the lads of the Toon Review. Check them out if they are doing it, because that'll be quite fun. That Baz Down Under saying, "Longstaff again, average. Won't be great next season. Have a real player on the right side of Bruno." It is a fair play, mate. It is a fair shout to say. I'm not trying to turn this into a Longstaff, smashing session, but yeah, he does disappoint, doesn't he? Time after time in games like that. 9-star Cobra, I think 7th after everything this season. We made a good account of ourselves in the UCL. We 100% did. May well said Tonali and a good number of players return will boost us. I think we will surprise this summer. I think you're right, mate. I think there's going to be at least 1 or 2 big players arriving this summer, and it might just set the cat amongst the pigeons a little bit. I think with the greedy 6, which I would absolutely love. Monty Brewster, Chris, do us all a favor. Let's all have one last turkey teeth rant from you this week before we finally turn the page. You know what, Monty? For you, I might just do it, mate. I might just do it. Maybe a farewell and fuck off to Jurgen Klopp. Maybe we'll do that, mate. Let me work on it. I'll let you know. We'll come back to you. Tyson, are we still having regular Mondays during the close season? I don't see why not, mate. We'll look at have a chat about stuff. I'm sure there's transfers to go through. Me and Mark will have a special pod meeting, which will either be over a coffee or a pint, depending on how we feel. And we'll work on something, guys. And we'll let you know in the community tabs as to what we're doing. Right, I'm going to shoot off in a minute because I've got stuff to do. Ian saying the barking cats. Absolutely, mate. Yeah, is Sandro on the plane? That is a good shout, Ian. I think he must be. He's allowed to play in that game, surely, isn't he? I'd love to see Sandro playing in that game. Him and Grand Qual's definitely going to play. I know that. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Sandro does play. Yeah, it'd be good to see him back. Again, Rib's asking the same question. Can he play? Can he play in Australia? Let's hope so, mate. Let's hope so, because it'd be good to see him in Australia. One last comment, guys, then we're going to shoot. Jack is saying, when the season started, I thought we might finish about 7th, even though without all the shit we had to go through this season. Yeah, it was going to be tough. The squad was thin, Jack, and I think 7th was probably a fair shout. I think I said between 7th and 9th as well. So I think it's probably about right, really, in all fairness, guys. But that's us wrapped up then for the last match reaction of the season. Thank you so much to all you guys in the chat tonight and for all the post-match reviews that we do. It really helps it all flow. We love talking to you. We love engaging with you. I know some channels don't go to the comments, but for us, it's part and parcel of this post-match analysis. That's what makes it great. That's what we enjoy doing it. So we'll be doing loads more of these next season. As long as you guys stick around and more of you come and join, we'll do loads more post-match reactions for next season as well. We will be back with what's going on tomorrow night, so make sure you check that out. We're back with some transfer videos, end of season reviews as well. Me and Mark are going to dissect the squad, talk about who's had a good season, who's not, who we would keep, who we would sell. So make sure you keep an eye on the channel, guys. There'll be loads of content over the close season, whether we do the Euros or not. We'll still be here as ever more. Have a cracking evening, everybody. Season is done. Breathe. We're in Europe. Hopefully, Man City keep us there. Have a cracking night, everyone. We'll catch you later. Cheers.